to get started. Thank you all for joining our webinar today. So today we will be hearing from our Deputy Dean, Indu, and then we'll also be hearing from our Higher Education Manager, Emma Hart. So in order to get started with no interruptions or any sort of disturbances, if you could just take a look at the instructions as to how you can mute and can you guys see the slides? Indu, Emma?
All good now,
Yep.
Kumo.
Okay, great. So if you could just look at the notification and sounds and just mute those while the webinar is going in, that just helps us avoid any sort of disturbances. And today's topic will be presented to you by our Deputy Dean, Indu, and our Higher Education Manager, Emma. And unfortunately, our EIT student that's supposed to be joining us today, because, you know, we are working professionals, and she was quickly swept away from us to attend to something urgent at work. But we will be hearing some of her remarks in this presentation.
Sorry, Kumo, I can't see the slides anymore.
Okay. Please hold. Sorry about that. Is it there? Can you see it?
Yeah, it's on the first page now. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So without any further ado, we'll get started, and you will get a copy of the slides and the video recording for this webinar. So the PDF will be sent, as well as the video recording of this webinar. So today there won't be any certificate of attendance awarded. That's purely because this is an information session, and it will be basically highlighting a small course with big credit, and it will just basically be addressing how you can boost your electrical engineering career with EIT. So just a little bit of a background about EIT. EIT has engineering specialists, which our courses are industry orientated programs, and obviously we do offer world-class Australian accredited education, and this is made possible by our industry experienced lecturers as well as our unique delivery model. And what I've just said will be echoed by the 2 awards that you can see up on the screen, which were awarded to us last year. And our agenda will be discussed by Indu. So Indu, if you don't mind taking control and starting the info session. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks very much, Kumo. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Just before I get started, just want to make sure you all can hear me clearly. If you can just give me a thumbs up in the chat board or say yes, that would be great. Thank you. All right, so today, like Kumo already said, we are going to be just looking at some of the general basics of the course. So it's not a technical coverage of the course, but we're going to look at, what exactly is this course, a little bit of an overview, and what do you get upon completion? How do you get credits into, or how do you gain pathway into higher education? We'll go a little bit into the course benefits, certification requirement, fees and scholarships, as well as the time commitment that's required. And then we'll also share about some of our student experience and feedback from our current students undertaking this course as well. If you have any questions during the program, please feel free to put it in the chat box, and we will try and answer them, some of them as we go, and some of them towards the end of the session. So without further ado, let's get started. So now my name is Indu, and I'm the Deputy Dean at EIT. I'm a chartered professional engineer, and I've been in the industry for over 20 years. Been working as an engineer as well as in the education industry, and both vocational education and higher education space, and also part of different industry body committees to make sure that we do provide our students with the current industry relevant programs as well. And joining me is Ms. Hema Hart. I'll actually get her to introduce herself as well.
Thanks, Indu. Yeah, so I'm definitely not an engineer. My background is in languages and teaching originally, and I look after the higher education team at EIT, so for all the support and the administration, learning support officers and so on, that we'll talk about a bit later. I work with all those guys to make sure that students are fully supported through their journey on their course. Thanks, Indu.
Thank you. So, what course is this? Now, obviously, the title is your professional certificate in essential practices for electrical safety, earthing and lightning protection. So those of you who are working in the electrical utilities or infrastructure, you will understand that how important it is to make sure that your systems need to be reliable, especially the safety of the power systems. Quite often, you've got issues from the faults happening, lightning strikes, extreme weather, which can damage your critical assets. And then what happens is it takes down the whole power network and there's issues that goes on. So what we want to do with this course and what we aim to do is to equip the engineers with up-to-date knowledge of safety standards, compliance requirements. We also go through practical design solutions, and it helps you to understand how you can protect your infrastructure, how you can maintain regulatory compliance, and also build resilience within your utility systems as well. We have a great industry-based lecturer who will be delivering this course and facilitating it. So he brings a lot of experience from the industry, bringing in industry-based case studies as well as practical aspects of training into the course. It is a 3-month course. It is live and online, so you'll have live webinars where you can interact with the lecturer and ask questions. You can bring in problems from the industry as well and ask that. And it will be starting on the 29th of September this year. So the next part I want to cover is a little bit of a course overview. Now, the course itself, it's undergone a lot of industry input and feedback. So we've been refining the course over many semesters. And the revisions based on current industry practice has been incorporated in. And one of the key things that we have done based on industry feedback is the introduction of the using ETAP software. So it is a software used in the industry for modeling and analyzing electrical safety and earthing systems. So you will be using that software while learning this course and also doing some assessments and exercises based on that. The course is developed with the support of Australian government's microcredential pilot program. And basically the idea is to upskill people in the industry to make sure that we meet the critical infrastructure needs that currently Australia is going through. But obviously the program is open to international cohort of students as well. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for anyone. All right. So when you complete this course, what you will get is you will get to understand, what is the critical principles of electrical safety. So from the basics of what earthing means to the nuances of how do you make sure you've got electrical lightning protection. You will get confidence to apply this in your real world environments. Like I said, a lot of things will be covered by a case study. So it's not just going to be very theoretical. There will be theory that you need to understand as well, because most of the things will be based on compliance and regulatory requirements. And as you know, as electrical engineers, there is a very important responsibility to adhere to safety standards. So the course will guide you through the current compliance requirements and also make sure that you're able to meet your individual industry regulations as well. The other thing you'll also get is to identify skills needed to assess and mitigate electrical hazards. So we'll teach you how to identify electrical hazards. And when you do identify electrical hazards, what do you need to assess them and mitigate them? And you will also learn strategies that you can implement immediately to improve your safety on site. And again, like I said, I've run this course many years ago with my students, and they usually bring problems from their work site, and usually we'll try and go through that problem in the classroom. If there are complex problems, we can go through it afterwards and try and see how to solve your solutions too. So the course will equip you to design and implement effective solutions, both in earthing and lightning protection, and will also give you the technical tools to safeguard the infrastructure and the people, which are important. But beyond technical skills, I think most of you who work in this infrastructure and utilities, you'll understand that this helps you, especially if you're in the safety focused roles, this helps you to upskill yourself, keep up to date, and make sure that you are, the tip top of your career as well. Now, everything you learn is directly related to industry practice, and that's why you've got an industry-based lecturer teaching this. And by end of the course, I hope that you will not only understand the theory side of it, but you'll also be able to confidently apply the skills you've learned in your day-to-day engineering work as well. Now, what I'll do is I'll pass it on to Emma, and then I'll jump in if needed. Thank you.
I'm on mute. As Indu has mentioned, so this course was developed in consultation with a lot of industry experts. It is also part of our Bachelor course, which if you do complete this, and what the student who was going to join us, Gregory, he's actually in our Bachelor program, and he's doing this unit, which will then give him credit into a specific unit in his program as well. So if anyone is interested in doing this and then makes a decision to move into the Bachelor program, you would get credit for what you have completed in this microcredential. Also on here, you can claim CPD, so professional development points, through your local engineering association. You will be given a certificate of completion, and you actually get what's called a digital badge. And this is something that you can share on your LinkedIn profiles, for example, to show that you have completed. So it is sent through our platform called Equals, which a lot of universities use, and for sharing qualification. So it's all clearly certified as well. So you'll be able to put that onto any of your platforms, share it with employers and so on, to show what you have completed. As Indu also mentioned as well, the lecturer that does take this is very experienced, not only within teaching, but also within the industry. And he has had a lot of development time working on this specific microcredential and the input into it to make it very specific and very up to date, essentially. In order to get your final certificate, so the digital badge, you do need to complete assessments. And one of the reasons for this is also because it does give credit into a unit in one of our bachelor degrees in higher education. So in order to get your certificate of completion, you need to attend, say, 65% of the live online weekly webinars. So you will find there are recordings of lectures that you'd need to watch beforehand and then attend these. Now, I know we would have students from all around the world. We try our best to get the tutorials into a time zone that will work for almost all of our students. And I believe for the one that's currently running, that started a month or so ago, we have managed to find a perfect time where all students are able to attend. Now, if you're not able to attend, they are all recorded, so you can also watch those. And what you would need to do in order to meet the attendance criteria is, after you have watched that specific tutorial, you then submit a summary of what you've learned and what was in that specific tutorial that week. That will go towards your attendance, and then tick that component off. You also need to get 50% across assessment. So in there, what you actually have is a practical assessment, but you also have an exam, which is not usual for the short courses, but because it does give credit, as I've said, into a specific unit in one of our bachelor programs, then we have added this exam component as well. We need to make sure that people are clearly understanding what they are learning in order to be able to give credit in that next course if students require to do so. You also have weekly quizzes. And there are multiple attempts at the weekly quizzes. So you need to achieve 100% in each of these quizzes. However, you can, if you don't get 100% first time, you're able to do it again and again and again. So there is no restriction on the amount of times. And then you can always go back to them. Even if you had 100%, you can always go back to help with your learning as well and look at those. If for any reason you aren't able to submit your assessment, you are able to do a resubmission. And as I've said, for the weekly quizzes as well, you'll be able to do that. However, you only get one chance at the exam, so you cannot complete the exam multiple times. So we often say for any student who's having any issues or difficulties to speak to our learning support officer. So this microcredential not only has the lecturer working with you, but you will have a learning support officer alongside you to make sure you're able to get into the systems, that they will be there to help if you've got any problems. As I said, if you are finding it difficult to be able to submit something, a lot of our students obviously are working at the same time. The learning support officer there is alongside you to really help with any of those needs and any questions you may have and fully support you through that. So if you do look at our fees page, it does have the list of all the current fees. So you can go specifically to the course and then to your country, and it will give you the details. And on there, it has a range of payment methods as well for the specific course. We do have scholarships available. So there's a couple there that you'll see specifically for this. And if you are a current EIT student, then let us know when you do apply, as there's other things we can also look at to help and support within the fees as well. So do have a look at those two specific scholarships for this one. So how long do you need to commit? We'd probably say per week, 5 to 8 hours, depending. And as I said, some of you are already working in the industry. There may be a lot of this that you're aware of and you understand. And so some weeks you may find a topic where you need to spend less time, sometimes more. So as I said, we've got the weekly webinars that run. So they're about 90 minutes. And the lecturer is also there a little bit longer to help with any questions or issues you may have as well. As I've mentioned, if you aren't able to attend everything, then you can simply watch the recordings and then submit those summaries as well. It can be a lot for some students to be able to try and commit to this many hours each week. So we completely understand that. And if you are having any difficulties, again, best person to reach out to is your learning support officer. So they can work with you if there's any issues. If you do need an extension when it's coming to your assessment and you're extremely busy at work, your learning support officer will be able to help you with any of that you need. So we always recommend reaching out to your support officer. They will reach out to you also and just make sure that you are coping and to see if there's anything additional that you need from them. Now, I believe, unfortunately, Gregory is unable to join us. So I'll quickly just run through a little bit about Gregory and we'll look at some of the answers that he's put on some of the questions here. So as I said, he is currently studying in the Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, and he decided to take this on, and he will then be given credit for this unit. So it's actually an elective unit in his Bachelor program. So he'll be able to transfer what he's completed in this professional certificate, this microcredential, and he'll be able to credit that onto his degree. So reason why he chose it, and said he gets that credit for it. And as I mentioned previously, yes, we have those scholarships, but also if you are a current EIT student, then to talk to us. So Gregory was given quite a big discount in order to do this, to help him along. So that's one of the reasons he chose to do it. So the unit itself and what he's learning is what he would have done in that unit specifically into his in his degree. So it has helped him because, of course, doing a full bachelor course is quite a huge financial commitment as well. So he was able to get it at a slightly lower cost. So as I've said, if you are a current EIT student, please do contact us and then we can work with you on what options are available for you. I won't go into too much detail of Gregory here. As you say, he talks a bit about what he's doing. So Gregory is working in industry. He's been studying, I think, 2 or 3 units each time as part of his bachelor degree. So he's actually in session studying his bachelor degree and doing units whilst he is studying the professional certificate as well. So he has a huge workload and is coping very well with that. So gives you a little bit information about why he decided to do this. For his learning style, as he's talked about, his experience with remote learning has been positive, which is really good to see. And he's able to have that flexibility. So if he is at work and he's on site, he's able to dial in, but also he can watch them later where needed. The examination process, a little bit of information there, where we use a proctoring platform called Iris. So all students are given access to this, and we give you, and your learning support officer would go through and show you how to use that. And so it's a fantastic way to be able to complete exams while you are online as well. So he's managed to work through that and get all his assessments done without stressing and having to go to specific places. So he's worked extremely well on that. Has he been able to apply what he's learnt directly to his current job or recent projects? It was really good to read this earlier when I was looking at it, that the modules that he's been doing has really boosted his confidence, which is great. I think the benefit of having our lecturers also be experts in industry, so they're also working in industry, so they are giving real world examples. It is not just theory, it is not just from a textbook. So being able to talk to the lecturers and talk about real problems that are happening. And a lot of our students, we find, do this. They'll be asking their lecturers about a specific project that they have at work and getting advice from the lecturers. So it was really good to read about how it's boosted his confidence in a lot of the areas that he is working in. What was something that he was unsure and nervous about starting the course? No, as I say, he's been studying for some time. So Gregory was fantastic when we did the orientation, and with any of our new students who were joining onto the program, Gregory was great in also helping them to be able to access everything and giving them a bit of advice on how he studies. So he was amazing and really helpful. But again, as I said, if there's any concerns, if you do choose to come onto this program and you have any concerns about studying online, being able to access the materials, understanding, your learning support officer is the perfect person to be able to speak to, but also to talk to your peers. And yeah, Gregory has been amazing in speaking to the peers, his peers on the course, and helping them through some things also, which is great. Online tools and platforms. So we use obviously a lot of online platforms. We are using Moodle as our learning management system, but then we also have what we call remote and virtual labs. Now, I may actually put Indu back on the spot because as she is the engineer, she'll be able to tell you a lot more about these virtual and remote labs. Indu?
Thanks, Emma. Yeah. So we do have virtual and remote labs. So there are two different ones. So one is you can actually connect through our platform and control physical equipment through Internet of Things. And you can see, by changing different parameters through your HMI interface, what reactions you're getting if you're running an experiment and whatnot. If you're otherwise, we also have simulation software. So for example, for this particular professional certificate, you will be using ETAP software. And the benefit of actually having this virtual and remote laboratory is that you can access this 24/7. So anytime you like, you book the system, you book the labs. You do have to book the labs in advance because sometimes it does get popular, especially during assessment times. But there are usually many labs available for the same software. So book the labs, you can practice as much time as you want. You don't have to have a powerful laptop or a computer on your end because we take care of that. And so we host it on our powerful laptops and computers. We have the licensing and access to the software. And again, like Gregory says, it's not just that one software you can access as well. So there are many softwares that you can access. So look at the labs, if let's say, for example, you're working with MATLAB or something else, yeah, you can log in, book it, use it, try to learn it. There's a lot of resources available for helping you guide through in terms of the user documentation as well as information on how to access specific programs. So I think they are a great way for students, especially the ones who are really keen to learn more than what you paid for. These are some of the very expensive softwares up there, so make full use of it.
Thanks, Indu. Okay, so I suppose on his final one of what advice would you give to someone considering studying with EIT? I love his response of simply do it. I think for a lot of students, if you have been away from study, you're working, you're not sure if you want to commit to, for example, a full bachelor program, this is a perfect taster of being able to come back into study. It runs very, very similar to our higher education unit as well. So it's that perfect step in back into study and to see how you cope and whether you enjoy it. And then you'd be able to make that decision of if you then want to go further and enroll in bachelor program and so on. So it was really good to hear that from Gregory. And I think the benefit, obviously, of being able to study online. There aren't a lot of universities, institutions that are able to deliver engineering courses online. So it is a huge benefit that we have. And as Indu said, with all of the labs that we're able to give you access to, all the materials, it's very hands-on, despite the fact that you are studying online. So it was, as I say, great to read this from Gregory of that his advice is go ahead and do it. Okay, so we will finish up there and so sort of hand back, and if there are any specific questions, I know there's some in the chat and I think people are answering, but I'm happy to. Kumo, do you want to take the Q&A?
Yeah, sure. Let's just wait and see if we've got any more questions coming our way. But in the meantime, you can contact us on our website. You can see all the courses we offer and so forth from our website, the fees and so forth. And then there's our email address. Our head office is in Australia. So we do have support officers around the globe, and we've got course advisors who can actually help you with basically accessing courses and just explaining to you how to enroll with EIT, and those are our numbers. So I'm going to go to the chat and just check for the questions. And do I believe you may have answered a question from Rizwan, and the question was, what if someone has already completed these modules in Bachelor's in Electrical Engineering and Masters of Technology in
Yes,
Electrical
yeah.
Engineering?
So we don't have credits from a accredited to a non-accredited course. We do provide credits from a non-accredited to an accredited course. So this one, you don't automatically qualify to just get a professional certificate because you've completed something in your bachelor's, because it's a non-accredited course. So yeah, that's what the answer for that one is. There's a question on the BESS system, the batteries. So you may want to check out that specific professional certificate link I've put there. That will be the right course for you. We currently don't have any webinar scheduled for it, but the course I think is coming up for intake is on there's one on the 2nd of September and 9th of September, if I'm not mistaken. So please check that out and keep in touch with the webinars coming up from EIT. Sometimes we do have webinars before an intake. Yeah.
So we've got a question from Asmond, and they're asking, do you have any telecom or IT related courses?
Yes, we do have, probably worthwhile looking at our course pages, but we do have in our advanced diploma, there is one called DIT, that's Advanced Diploma in Information Technology. I'll just look for the link and give that to you. Industrial Data Communication, Networking and IT is the one. Let me put that link there. But there may be also some specific prof certs that you can look into. We don't have specific software kind of IT programs being delivered. So if you're looking for specific software engineering, then no, this is not the place.
Okay, so I have put a few links in the chat. So we've got the last one as for our upcoming webinars, so you can take a look at that. And then I've already provided the link to book a call to speak to one of our course advisors to inquire more about any of the courses we offer. And I also have put a link for the courses we offer here at EIT. And we've got another question. How many accounts do I have to create in order to enroll for my professional course in industrial automation? Hillary Opio. So you can send us an email, because the last week we had a few situations where our portal was not working up to standard, but it has been resolved now. So you can just reach out and we'll be able to assist you at that. Do we have any more questions? Okay, we'll give it another 5 minutes. Okay, we've got another one. You may want to consider an undergraduate certificate in electrical engineering.
Yes, there's a question that the student has, or Robert has a bachelor's in oil and gas and wants to divert into the electrical field. You may want to look into actually our entry requirement, if you want it, into our graduate certificates. If you meet the requirements, you may actually be eligible to go into our graduate certificates in electrical engineering. Alternatively, you can look at an undergraduate certificate in electrical engineering, which I think you will meet the requirements for. But this specific course will not be not a good starting point if you want to divert from a different field into electrical.
And our next question is from Mulugeta, and they're asking, I am working in solar power system. What course will you recommend me?
I think that will depend on what you want to progress into. If you're looking for an advanced diploma or a bachelor degree, we have advanced diploma in renewable energy engineering. You may want to look into that, or our graduate certificate in renewable energy technologies. That was another pathway as well. If you look into our course pages, I'll put our link here. There are many courses available, and you may want to make an appointment with one of our course advisors to talk through your options, because it will depend on, you know, what pathway, what's the duration you're looking for, and so on.
Thank you, Leah. That was the next question we were going to attend to. So the question from Kabule Dan, um, they've completed a bachelor degree in electrical engineering from Busitema University in Uganda, and is asking if they're eligible for the certificates.
No, unfortunately not. So you can't get a course recognition from an accredited program into this thing. So yeah.
Okay, and then the next one is from George, asking, do you have full scholarship courses, or maybe for the electrical engineering, like can I be paying monthly, or what are the payment options? I'm from George, Kenya.
Yep. So you may want to go into a scholarship page here.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have the two scholarships specifically for this, but if you're looking at a range of our courses, you'll be able to see the variety of scholarships that we have, and also on there the payment options. There are payment options for monthly, upfront, and so on. So all those details are on those pages.
Okay, great, thank you. And then the next question is from Lungelo, and states that they did mathematical literacy in high school, and they've obtained level 2 electrical engineering certificate from a training center in Ngomati. Do they qualify to be an EIT student?
I would suggest that they contact our course advisors to look through these options, because these are very country specific. We'll have to look at our details before we can answer them. So yeah, please do contact our course advisors.
Thank you. I have put the link for booking a call with our course advisors. So if you could just click on that link and select a time that's suitable for you, and we can reach out to you. And then the next question we have is, will the scholarships cover the full course fees or just part? And that's from Rizwan.
Yeah, so you may want to check our scholarship page to look at all the different options available and see which one you're eligible for.
Thank you. And then the next one, do you, and this is from Michael, do you give room for students to have their internship/attachments with your institution or any link to the industry field?
I'm assuming you're asking if there is any internship if you're doing a course with us. So if you are completing a bachelor or master on our on-campus programs, then we do provide support in trying to get you set up with internship as part of the course completion requirements.
Thank you for that, Indu. And then the next question is from Shania, and they're asking, is the BESS course you offer suitable for a business person like me? I'm not an engineer. I am in business development for BESS. Please advise.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so most of our professional certificates are pitched at general audience, so we don't have specific requirements to join the professional certificate courses. So they do start at fundamental level, and then depending on the course, it will go up to the higher level. I would strongly recommend that you do look at the details of the particular program, the one that I suggested before, and see if that is a fundamental level for you. There are other options available as well, professional certificates, if you look at our course page.
Thank you so much. So we'll be taking the last 3 questions from Charlie, Prince, as well as Rizwan. So the next question is from Prince. Is a scholarship only made for EIT students?
No, it is not. So the scholarships are for all students. However, as I mentioned, if you are a current EIT student wanting to do this course, then please do contact us, because there are then alternatives, like Gregory did, for the fees. So scholarships, no, for all students, but there are alternative possibilities for EIT students as well.
Thank you for that, Emma. And then our last question is from Charlie B. And they're saying, for someone with a background in electrical engineering, is there a set of courses that are available for one to bridge into electrical courses without starting all over, considering the similarities between the two programs in the initial years, especially for someone who wants to focus on industrial systems?
I would recommend that because I don't know the full background of what you whether you've completed a bachelor or a graduate certificate or a diploma. Look at our course pages, and I would recommend looking at either a non-accredited course if you want to just do a taster. There are some electrical programs in there, or if you have a diploma, look at our undergraduate certificate in electrical engineering or industrial automation if you're looking for specific industrial systems. Or please do again contact our course advisors who can then look at your specific background and then give you options for which course will be the best suited for you.
Thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of our webinar today. Thank you all for taking time to actually attend this, and we do appreciate you. And thank you, Emma, and thank you as well, Indu.
Yes, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the day.